While everyone has been distracted watching the election results over the last 2 days, something has occurred. It's flown under the radar, and most are unaware of it, and in today's video, I would like to cover that for you. Over the month of October, this channel did videos talking about these two strange flashes that occurred in infrared weather tracking telemetry during Hurricane Delta. This is the first one. We correlated the lines between Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida and Nashville, Tennessee, and the second one between Chennault Field in Louisiana and an Air Force base up in Oklahoma. And we plotted them here on Google Earth. The 138th Fighter Wing, the 118th Air Intelligence Wing, the 53rd Weapons Evaluation Group, and a NASA facility used to test hypersonic aircraft called Chennault Field. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of the details here, but something new has occurred, and it puts another nail in the coffin of this theory that we had, that it was laser testing, very likely with drones. Now, we established that there were four basic uses of lasers in the military. There is, of course, offensive and defensive weaponry. Lasers are also used for communications. They are used to hide aircraft from radar, and they are used to create a bubble of ionized air in front of an aircraft, allowing it to achieve much faster speeds. So speed, stealth, comms, and offensive defensive weaponry. Those are the big four. Now, what has occurred recently that I think lends credence to this event? In latest arms deal, U.S. approves sale of MQ-9 Reaper drones to Taiwan. Now, why do I think that this is part of that theory? The 118th Air Intelligence Wing up here flies the MQ-9 drone. Now, they fly the MQ-9 Reaper, which is, of course, the drone that we know carries all of the heavy-duty hardware. Also recently, the U.S. has approved sale of Harpoon missile systems, HIMARS, and SLAM missile systems. And that is detailed here. Now, those are just different types of systems that pretty much achieve the same mission. Harpoon sale is the largest part of an enormous package of defense contracts approved recently. In the past few weeks, Taiwan has also been approved to purchase airborne reconnaissance systems, 11 high-mobility artillery rocket systems, HIMARS, and 64 Army tactical missile systems, as well as 135 extended-range standoff land attack missiles, or SLAM. Now, when you add in that they can now purchase these MQ-9 drones, a picture starts to emerge. Now, it isn't just any MQ-9 that they are buying. The MQ-9 that's being provided to Taiwan is the Sky Guardian Sea Guardian. This is a very, very high-tech version of the MQ-9. It has a very long range. It can operate in virtually any environment, and it uses laser comms. It talks to satellites. It can transmit an immense amount of data. It has its own onboard radar system, which allows it to fly through enemy airspace, through congested international airspace, and it can, on its own, avoid other aircraft. It is an insanely advanced piece of air military hardware, and this is what they're getting. This aircraft could literally fly over China and be spying on China 24/7, 365, and it could avoid just about any system meant to knock it down. There's also this. Lightweight, high-energy liquid lasers, or helads prepared for live fire test. I don't know about you, but that could easily below be Oklahoma. Now, this is an older article, so probably not. But a high-powered laser weapon, light enough to be carried by tactical aircraft, has moved out of the laboratory and onto the testing ground. General Atomics Aeronautical Systems High-Energy Liquid Laser Defense System, HELADS, has finished its U.S. government acceptance test procedure and it's on its way to White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico for live fire tests. Now, it's funny that they have this picture before they obviously published the article, so it said, I don't think it was on its way at this point. Laser weapons have made great strides in recent years, but one of the most sought-after goals has been to marry high power to light weight so the system can be installed in aircraft and other very mobile platforms. The result of a DARPA program, the all-electric HELADS punches a 150 kilowatt laser, yet is only a tenth the size and weight of comparable systems. And like I said, this is an older article. This is a newer one. This is October of this year. General Atomics and Boeing team up on high-energy laser weapon. This is 100 kilowatts to 250 kilowatt class high-energy laser for air and missile defenses. When you put this up against what's happening with Taiwan and China, and you look at those two flashes, this is exactly what's going on. And this would be, of course, the perfect time to do it, wouldn't it? When everyone was distracted. Enough concentrated power to burn through steel, enough range to cover literally astronomical distances, an operating cost of $1 a shot, unlimited number of shots, so long as there's power available. But once again, one of their big problems is cooling. That's why I've put this with the Fitzgerald issue. Because for so long, the North Koreans would launch a missile and it would just fail for some reason, over and over and over again. Now, it wasn't being blasted out of the sky by a laser, but if you can aim an infrared, meaning invisible to the human eye, laser at a missile in its ascent phase and burn out its tracking, yeah, it's going to fail. After the Fitzgerald was hit and removed from the water, so to speak, all of a sudden, all of North Korea's laser tests went amazingly well. Pardon me, not laser tests, missile tests went amazingly well. That happened in June, and then over July, like literally 2 weeks later, they had their most successful test ever. I really believe that was what was happening with the Fitzgerald. And that's why I included this picture down here in the lower right, because it shows an Arleigh Burke class destroyer firing one of these things. And of course it can be seen because of the filter. But what better weapon could you have? You have a ship at sea, you don't see it doing anything, but really it's firing a laser. And messing with the tracking and electronics that are needed to launch one of these missiles. Sorry about the noise. I'm showing a lot of different images and they have different lighting in them and it kind of messes with the focus. This is what the, for lack of a better term, I guess, gaming rig looks like for one of these MQ-9. Now, I'm all about having a little bit of fun with computer systems, but man, this is crazy. You've got a control stick over here. Looks like you have a throttle over here. Trackball, keyboard. Looks like main tracking. Looks like ops over here. And who knows what the rest of this is. And they've got trailers full of these things. I mean, talk about a rig. And if you can fight war like this, this is one of these things over Dubai. I'm not sure where this one was taken, but it has a NASA logo on it, which I think is very interesting, given that this looks like it's at very, very low level. This looks like perhaps an artist's rendering here, because the ship they have down here on the surface looks like one of these unmanned experimental platforms the Navy's working with. But this one, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look off in the distance here very closely, this looks like this could be Vegas, looking from south to north, which means this might be Area 51. Not exactly sure of this, of course, but this city at the edge of this desert with the mountains in the background, and that this has a U.S. Air Force logo on it, I don't really know how this could be anywhere else. There's something up in the link that says Nevada Test and Training Range for the U.S. Air Force, so it could be perhaps a different place, but the U.S. has just approved the sale of Reaper drones, very specific kinds, to Taiwan, along with all sorts of other rocket and missile systems. And strangely enough, we saw what looked like infrared laser tests over the United States. I think this was a complete accident. I think they probably had been doing these tests for a long time, and they didn't think anybody would be looking at, from above, where they were using infrared detectors. And that's why this was picked up. This is long wave infrared imagery here from the GO satellite, and this is shortwave infrared. So this might have been just an oops, given that the flashes are so instantaneous. It would take a very specific kind of technology to even see it. So that's why I think this is just a happy accident that this was picked up. People were staring at this, people were looking at this because of the hurricane. And this wouldn't have been picked up in just normal everyday radar technology. This is shortwave infrared imagery. Very specific kind of technology. And not everyone saw it. The only person who really saw it was the channel Dachintz. I hope I'm saying that right. Dachintz, something like that. He's the only one who saw it. He is the only one who saw it, and people brought it to me. And it just, when I saw it, I'm like, those are military bases. Those are known military installations. And that's how this all came to fruition. Sometimes military intelligence makes mistakes. Sometimes nobody thinks about, if we do this test and somebody happens to be looking at the right place at the right time, and somebody else looks at it and sees that these are known military bases, this could get uncovered. Or somebody maybe said that, and somebody else said, yeah, the chances of that are very small, are very remote. So we're not going to take any steps to try to mitigate this, because perhaps the steps to try to mitigate it will make more people look and make more people wonder why we're getting involved with redacting storm telemetry. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I think we have access to this. It was just dumb luck. It was just dumb luck that he found it and I had the ability to correlate it. So I guess we will leave it there. But another piece of the puzzle. This is going to be the battlefield of the 21st century. Laser communications, lasers used for speed, for stealth, and occasionally for offensive and defensive weapons. Like, share, subscribe.